1 cucumber.
Oh, very, very, very good. Danny's doing our floor managing tonight, one of the students here. Why do girls in the main have to change their name to their partners? Why shouldn't men have to abandon their surname if they marry? First letter tonight. Got an opinion on that?
Yeah.
The end result is all Aussies starve to death. Is this the society we want? Do you want to starve to death? No. Still studying and graduating into a society where none of us can eat. I don't think that's any good. Last letter tonight. My sister is a dickhead. Yes, warm family. I think she's addicted to sex and can't and will never be able to manage in a stable relationship. Sound like anyone you know?
Few people.
Few people. All these letters pass a terrific panel in about 10 seconds. Don't go away. We'll see you shortly.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Welcome to Sweet and Sour, everyone. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. Terrific to have your company. Who's on the show tonight? Hello, Glenn. It hasn't been that long ago that we had you on the show.
Look, clearly you're really struggling for guests, so I got an invite back. I'm very happy to be here.
Good to have you here, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Always
Yeah.
good to have you.
I've got a new show coming up. Do you want to know about
Improv?
it? Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
it's called Zeitgeist, and basically it's improvised cabaret. So we just make up cabaret. We
When
make
is
up
it?
songs.
Where are we doing it?
It's
What's
at the
going-
Mount Lawley Bowling Club, June 21 to 23. Yeah, it's a fantastic show, all improvised, very intimate setting, very adult.
Very adult. All right, Lisa, do you want to trot off to that?
Very adult improvisations. Actually, no, I don't. But I'm happy to be back and I'm loving it.
Thanks for asking that question, Gary. It's really sold it well.
Lisa just said it sounds like a swingers party.
I'm not allowed to say that live on air.
Oh, okay. This is good. Never mind, we won't go there. I love, how are you?
Oh, good. We're just going to bowl and put all our keys in there. And then just take out a key. Is that what they used to do in the 70s?
I don't know.
they did.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Who was there in the
Well, I
70s?
was only a child, so
Yeah,
obviously that's not what I got up to in the
Were you
70s.
here in the 70s?
Yes, no.
You just made it?
Just made it in.
Just made it in. Nuns, were you here in the 70s?
Yeah, I was at school, primary school.
What do you remember?
Yeah,
What's your earliest
I was
memory?
Fonzie at school. I was a Fonz.
You didn't have a motorbike.
I had everything, black jacket, black shirt, white shirt.
Nice.
Was your dad's name Howard?
Oh, Jesus, no.
Well, no, that was Fonzie's. That was Richie. Never mind. Here we go. Straight into it. First letter. Hey, panel. Comes to us from Fiercely Female of Marrickville in New South Wales. That's a promise of things to come. Why do girls in the main have to change their name to their partners? Why shouldn't men have to abandon their surname if they marry? How many men on the panel would choose to abandon their surname if their future wife asked for that to happen so she could keep her name? For that matter, why should children immediately assume the surname of their father? What's wrong with having them select a name of their own, choosing at the age of 18? The way it stands now just reinforces a male-dominated society where women count for nothing. Is it time for real social progress? As we said, Fiercely Female of Marrickville. Glenn, would you change your name?
Look, I'm fiercely female. I'm all for the rights of females. Look, I do agree that we live in a patriarchal society, and the more that we can tear down the patriarchal discourses that run this country, and indeed the world, I think the better that we get the equality. Having said that, no, actually, I have my own surname. My wife has her surname, and our son has both of our surnames. And we thought it was a good idea at the time, but now it's quite confusing because we all have a different surname.
Oh, that's right.
And so it kind of doesn't make sense. So yeah, look, I would have been happy to change my name to my wife's name. I don't care.
Really? You would have been happy?
What's in a name?
Well, family
Rose,
lineage,
or any other name
all
would
that sort of
smell as
thing.
sweet. Oh, look.
What's going to happen in the next generation when your son's got a double-barrel surname and then
I agree, that's for him to worry about, not me.
Not for you guys.
I don't care. They'll probably just be known by barcodes in that time. Just scan the barcode on the wrist. Yeah, that's right.
Lise,
That's right.
what do you want to do?
I think this has been, she talks about social progress, but this has been an issue for over hundreds and hundreds of years. So,
Is it?
Yeah, and if you want to change your name, I mean, I think women have a choice. So you can change your name to yours and your husband's. You can take your husband's name. And a lot of women want to. I know I would. I'd be happy to. I think it's a sign of commitment that you can actually take on board something of theirs. You have a family together and your children takes the name. I like that.
What happens if you were to swap surnames?
Well, I think you would come up with the same issue that Glenn mentioned.
I just can't work out a system.
You've got a roll call to go into a boat or a plane, and then suddenly when no one's seated together because it's out of alphabetical order. It's not realistic.
It's like when we go to the doctor, it's like, oh, well, there's an appointment for me. My name's Hall. There's an appointment for my wife, who's Hustis. Oh, and your son? Yeah, he's Hustis Hall. It does get a little bit extensive. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Unnecessary, yeah.
And if we start collecting all the names of our predecessors and forefathers, whatever, it just strings out, because there I am, a Mitchell, but if I take it back, what was it, 8 generations, there are actually 256 separate surnames that throw in. So I don't know, I can't work out any system.
Well, actually, my surname as well was meant to. They did the family tree right back, and the surname shouldn't be my surname. It was actually like 4 generations ago. Grandma didn't take on Granddad's surname. My great grandma.
Progressive woman, why not?
Yeah, it's sort of lost now in the through the generations.
So
but
did you know what that surname was?
Yes.
Okay. You going to tell us?
It was Malor.
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 Got any Malors in your family tree?
No, we don't. It's just all Fosters. We're all foster children.
What do we do?
Foster children, nobody wants us.
What do we do here with surnames?
Does it really matter? I mean,
Not anymore.
I never took on my make-believe husband's name at all. Didn't have to do that. But it's 2013. If you don't want to take on your hubby's name, that's fine. You don't need to. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Well, hopefully not. And the other thing, fiercely female, if it's really an issue, it shouldn't be an issue, because if you end up marrying a woman, then you could both share a surname.
Are we
you can
gonna
make
do
one
that
like
soon?
Brangelina or something.
Are we going to do that soon? Now that every other Western country is actually doing, do you think?
Oh, I know. What's wrong? It's 2013. Love who you want. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know the song. That's a 60s song too. If you can be with the one that you love. Nuns!
Love the one that we
one
I'll tell you what's going on here, and you can't change it.
Nuns is going to tell us. Come on.
Because it's in the Bible. Section so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
You can't change it.
That.
Can't change your
It's
name.
knowledgeable about the
God
Bible.
took for man a rib for man and created woman to serve and accompany man, because man is made in the image of God. That's why you take on his name.
That's wonderful, but the Bible was written by the men.
Correct.
So I actually don't agree.
Very true.
Well, I don't know. But so you've got to take the man's name.
Any prospective woman that wants to marry you has to
Oh no, this is a big
agree to being part of your rib.
Mate, my name is Nunzio di Gregorio La Bianca.
Whoa, okay.
Imagine throwing another one in there, another 2 or 3.
How fantastic is that?
You have to have children with the
Wouldn't you want to simplify it to Smith?
Yeah, it's easier.
It's
Yeah,
easier.
but signing documents and things, bank documents, it's a long name. And you're right, because my girlfriend says, no, I want to keep my name as well, throw it in there. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ.
So she wants to add it onto yours as well?
She wants to add it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just torture for the kids, really.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's a hard one. You got to, but I think choose one or the other, realistically, who cares? I mean, choose a name. But you've got to understand that name carries through to generations and generations and generations
But you lose
to come.
all those other generations. The moment you take one, you lose the others.
Because you look at your cousins, you might be close with your cousins, but the cousins with the same name, you're kind of a little bit closer with.
But here's the thing about
Which you shouldn't be.
my surname that I discovered. My dad's dad was actually adopted. So the surname I have isn't actually my legitimate surname. So that's why I wasn't too worried about it.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about whether kids are taught privilege and entitlement rather than the things that they should be. And we're going to talk about surnames and work out a pattern when we come back. We'll see you then. Don't go away. So... Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to this address. There it is, coming up on the screen right now. Letters at sweetandsour.net.au. And if you do bother to send us a letter, we're going to try and send you to the movies if we like your letter. If it's good enough for the panel to read it out and discuss it, we'll send you to this week, Drift, courtesy of NRC and Natalie NRC Communications. And we'd also like you to go on Facebook and have a look at us. Give us a big like. Facebook.com/Sweet and Sour. And our website is sweetandsour.net.au. David of Floriat Park in WA writes, hello there. What are we teaching kids? My brother and his 3 children have just returned from the Gold Coast in the school holidays. Turns out that at all the theme parks, you can now buy a fast pass ticket to jump the queue and not have to line up with the masses. I was incensed because it reinforces the notion that money gives you privilege and entitlement. It's bloody disgusting. It's going to normalise the divisions in society. Just have a look what happens in America where the poor can't get decent health care because their bodies don't have as great a value to the marketplace as the rich. It's happening in education as well, with privileged foreign students able to pay for education placements while our kids go lacking. Look at our food production, where farmers are selling their farms to the highest bidder, even if it means that food production goes offshore. The end result is all Aussies starve to death because the highest bidder, currently the Chinese, will buy up all the food. Is this the society we want? Is it right that everything becomes available to the highest bidder? I've just read that children are now being encouraged to read by paying them per book read. This has catastrophic end-game results. How does the panel suggest we bring this to a halt immediately? Please discuss. All right, we're going straight to Nunzio for you, David. First up.
Well, you need to change countries. Communist. You need a communist country. Everything's equal. I don't know. Can you fix it? You can't really fix that. How can you fix it? It's impossible.
Values at home. I don't know.
You know, is it a problem? Yeah, it's a problem, but it actually is a big problem.
Is it true you can jump the queue now? You can
everywhere.
Pay to jump the queue.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Is that right?
Absolutely. And to be honest, like, I think you should be able to. And I don't think it means that, you know, it's a bad thing. I think you should be able to pay the queue. If you've worked hard, you save up, well, that's your one event for the year for those that don't have as much of the privileges, then why not jump the queue and step ahead?
We all want to jump the queue, but half of us haven't got a pocket to do that. Do you want to jump the queue, Nuns?
Money is power, as they say. I haven't got no money no more, so I wait at the back of the queue. I line up like everybody else, but it was good when I was at the front of the line.
Can't you get into clubs and everything? You must
Yeah,
know
I
a
get
few
in
blokes
everywhere.
there.
Yeah, I get everywhere.
Of course he does. Nat, back of the queue, front of the queue, where are you?
You know what? Kids have to learn at some stage that money does buy you privilege. And it's all very ideal to turn around and say, oh, money can't buy you happiness, but I'll tell you this much for free. I would rather be unhappy in a 5-star penthouse than at a caravan park. I mean, no offence, but kids have to know this is the way the world is. It's not like Hunger Games, although that would be a good idea. If anyone's seen the movie, fantastic. Just put them all out there and let them fight for it. But listen,
That's what we do anyway, isn't it?
Well, pretty much.
In a marketplace.
You know, it's great books. I actually read the books. I wasn't paid to read them, but I did read the books. But the bunnies are not hanging around Hugh Hefner for his bedtime stories as cigars, are they?
Yes, that's
They're there for the hello, ka-ching, ka-ching. And if I knew about this thing, I would definitely, you know, give some extra money if I could jump the queue, because I'm shallow and I don't care about other people.
And you're honest. You just said you want to jump the queue as well.
I would like to jump the queue every now and again, and I have to pay to do it. That's fine. If it means I have to work harder every now and again, well, I will.
Do you agree that the end result of all of this thinking, though, is that Aussies all starve to death because we've sold everything off to the highest bidder and the Chinese will assume all the food and we'll have nothing?
I do actually think that will happen, but I think that
we'll all be dead by then.
And the reason is because the Chinese
problem.
work really, really hard. Yeah. Australians, we can be quite sometimes a lazy country. I've just spent 4 or 5 weeks overseas.
I'm not
lazy. We are compared to them. I mean, they live and breathe work. Like, it's, you know, our lifestyle is amazing, and that's part of the benefit of being an Australian. But
we've significantly increased our output because we had to. I remember the days when they were talking about the Japanese having a huge work ethic in comparison to us, and we actually climbed that ladder, and we're very comparable.
Remember that film Mr. Mum?
Yes.
Michael Keaton, he gets retrenched because the Japanese buy the car plant. I mean, you know, it's been going on for years. Look, at the risk of sounding sensible, again, it's happening too often tonight. I use the term patriarchal discourses. My cultural studies teacher will be very, very happy. Let's just have a look. David's from Floriat Park.
In WA.
I'm pretty sure the median house price of Floriat Park's around $1 million plus. David's brother has taken his family to Gold Coast for the holidays and to theme parks. There's a theme building here. David's family has a lot of money, right? He just doesn't have as much as the people that sort of wake up in the morning, go to the toilet and some money comes out. So he's just jealous he doesn't have as much as them. These are first world problems, David. first world problems. You can actually afford to go to the Gold Coast and stand in a queue. Well, lots of people can't even stand in a queue at the Gold Coast because they can't afford to get there. They certainly can't afford to live in Floreat Park. Here's the thing. Here's what I want, and this is something I read. Apparently, the instances of stress and depression in children in Western societies is growing exponentially, and that's because we already have too much stuff.
Yeah, it's a me now generation today.
Look, they looked at third world countries, and particularly in Africa and African communities. They get a well put in the ground, they're stoked. And I'm not saying that's the way to live, but the instances of stress, anxiety, depression, and mental illness in their kids are a lot less because they understand the importance of the small things. We have lost that, David, and the fact that you've written this letter in shows me that you've forgotten how to understand it as well. So why don't you go and visit some of the places Lisa's been and see what real poverty is like and what standing in a queue for a bowl of rice is like.
Sad thing is, all of us agreed that that's just the state of play and there's very little we can do about it.
That's right.
You've got to teach kids what reality is in the Western world at the moment.
So put your kids to work.
We've got a similar letter coming up when we come back. What makes for stability in a relationship? When we come back, don't go away. More of Sweet and Sour soon.
I'm 23, broke and soon to be unemployed. I still live with my parents. Maybe I should write a letter to Sweet and Sour.
Downloading all those things. We're not allowed to say that, are we? Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Dear panellists, my sister is a dickhead. She's the youngest in the family and maybe that has something to do with it, but she just can't get it together. She's approaching 40, really wants to settle down, but hasn't got the slightest amount of maturity to really consider that she wouldn't be happy and content in a stable relationship. Frankly, like so many, I think she's addicted to sex and can't and will never be able to manage being in a stable relationship. Her latest fling, which has no hope of going anywhere, is her going full circle back to her first boyfriend 22 years ago, who I think she never got over because he dumped her, and that was because she was sleeping around. Well, after living in London for 16 years, he's come back to Melbourne for a fleeting family visit after his divorce. She looked him up on Facebook and they're back together, sort of. He's flown back to London and she's booking her flight to follow in 2 weeks. All of us can see that she's going to be left high and dry very shortly, except her. What can any of us do, say, show her, advise her to settle her down to make a half-decent decision for the rest of her life? Davis of Fern Tree Gully in Victoria. Nat, you're up first and you're sitting there nodding already. What's going on with...
Would this even be an issue if it was concerning a bloke? Would it really be?
Yeah, it'd be
the
an
thing
issue
is,
for me and my mates.
Apparently, she's the youngest in the family. He's calling her a dickhead. Hello, how old are you? 12. But the thing is, though, and it says she's approaching 40 years old and she's addicted to sex. Now, I'm a little concerned that you know about your sister's sexual appetite. I'm not putting any words into your mouth or anything, but step off. I think if she's out there and she's got a sexual appetite, she's approaching 40 and that's when it's all kicking about in there. We know that's when it peaks for us ladies. It's awesome.
She's allowed to learn her own lessons too, surely.
Look, if she's having fun, I mean, personally, I wouldn't go back to an ex. It's like taking a shower and then putting dirty clothes back on. But he must have been pretty good if she's going back for seconds. Do you know what I mean? With chocolate sauce or whatever. I would probably find somebody a little bit closer, unless you're trying to get your frequent flyer points up. I don't know. But I wouldn't go back with the ex. But if you're out there sowing your seeds and you're living life, and sister, enjoy it. Brother, get off.
Got any sisters?
Well, I don't know if I want to answer this letter. To be honest with you, I'm the youngest in the family. Around 40.
Are you a rat bag?
Around 40, yeah. Addicted to sex, fling.
What do your
full
brothers
circle.
and sisters think of you?
Sleeping around, divorce, Facebook.
Tells a story, doesn't it?
I'm not answering this. The girl's done the full circle. She's in love and she misses her boyfriend. I don't know. She's
going to settle down sooner or later anyway.
Why not?
We all
Sometimes
do,
you do the full circle. Why not?
You know, and if she doesn't settle down, it's
So
all
what?
right. Just get some cats. That's what God invented cats for. They're cheap, they're cuddly, keep you warm at night.
Is your family protective of you?
Yeah, sort of, my mum.
Just your mum?
No, but you can't control me. You can't. I'm crazy. But my mum's a bit crazy, so yeah, she's very protective. I think my friends and my family, I think so. But
Is that an Italian thing as well?
yeah. I think so.
I'm addicted to sex too. I just wish I could get someone to join me. But you know, one day I'll be able to satisfy that addiction. Look, I think it's great that she's going to London. Clearly she's worked her way through Australia, and there's a large population of people in London just crying out for a bit of sex. I mean, really, what is the issue? She just wants some sex, but I think you should definitely rein her in. I think you should stop her from having sex. I think you should pretty much move in with her and watch her 24/7. That's pretty much the only way you're going to stop it. Let her go, for goodness sake. She's not your responsibility. She's not your child. She's your sister. I think you're the dickhead, pal.
Lise, last word to a woman. You got a sister?
I do indeed. And she is nothing like this lady, which is a wonderful thing. But I have
Is she
to
older
say,
or younger?
she's younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can write letters like this, but no, Joe, you're doing a great job. Don't change. We love you. However, Davis from Fern Tree Gully, you're the dickhead, and we don't like you. And who does he think he is saying stuff like this? It's just pathetic. You're pathetic.
You don't
Full
want to give
stop.
this man the pair of limited edition sunnies courtesy of a long trees, do you?
Get in the
Good
sun.
segue. No?
No.
Who do we like
No
to
way.
give away the sunnies to? Who do you like, Nat?
I like, we were talking about before, weren't we? I like the lady fiercely female that's
Fiercely female
about
noise?
changing names.
Yeah, number one.
Okay, fiercely female.
I think in Marrickville you need to do everything to hide the bruised eyes. Is that wrong?
Marrickville coming out to Marrickville, a pair of limited edition sunnies courtesy of our long trees. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you, sir. Nice
Thank
to
you,
have in
mate.
the show.
I hope people
Always
will
is.
like my Just Improvised Facebook page, even if they don't like me.
What's the address? Just improvised Facebook.
There's no address. You just go on Facebook and search Just Improvised.
Why
I
do they
don't
put
know
me
why
through
you bother
grief?
reading addresses.
Why do they?
Just search Sweet and Sour on Facebook. It's a piece
But
of
it comes
cake.
up with another TV show from the
that's true.
1970s or something.
That's true. That's
So
true.
we have to. Lise, good to have you here.
Thank you for having me on. It's been wonderful, as usual.
Don't go away too far. We'll call you back fairly shortly, all right?
I look forward to it.
All right, love. Nat, fantastic to have you back on the show.
Thank you. I'm sweating like a fat chick, though. Can we turn the lights off yet? I'm losing kilos as we sit here.
We can, but we'll do that shortly.
Oh.
Good to have you here,
Thanks very
mate.
much. Beautiful.
Thank all of our wonderful panellists, our terrific crew tonight, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
I'm sweating like a fat chick too.